So, WWE, the old WWE headquarters went up for sale because they moved to a new building. And so it went up for sale and it was announced that it sold for like 3.75 million, I think. And it was sold to a real estate investor to a real estate investor, I'm sorry. And their plan is to turn it into apartments. So, technically, you could live in the old WWE HQ. What I think is going to be interesting about it is obviously the building's big, so it could probably be made into like quite a few apartments. But I think it's going to be interesting how they go about like renovating it and stuff because they could still kind of try and keep like an industrial feel to it, which might make
Yeah.
it like easier to remember. Like, oh, wait, but still, I don't know if they're going to be high end apartments. I don't know if they're going to be like more affordable. I don't know, but
Yeah.
pretty cool to be able to be like, hey guys, I'm living here. And it's like the old WWE headquarters. That's kind of
That
cool.
that is child me. That's his dream, is to live
Yeah.
there. That is awesome. The only counterpoint I will make is that I wish they turned it into a museum or a hall of fame of
Yeah.
sorts, because that is the one thing that I believe that the WWE needs more than anything. Seriously, more than growing globally, growing with the streaming services. It's something that it seems really ridiculous that it has not been a thing yet, because I
Hmm.
have people who are not wrestling fans and are mainly sports fans or even music fans, because you have the Rock and Roll
Hmm.
Hall of Fame,
Hmm.
ask me, you know, oh, you talk about, oh, you went to the Hall of Fame induction, ceremony. All right, so where was it? And I was like, oh, it's at WrestleMania. They're like, oh, there's no like Cooperstown or no Canton,
Yeah.
and I'm like, no, it's just, it's more of an honor rather than being cemented like that. And when I think about it, it it makes no sense, obviously, from that standpoint. But if WWE is this money making machine that they claim to be, how are you not utilizing something that is basically a cash cow by having that museum be something where you could just sell tickets to? You
Hmm.
have the artifacts, you have everything basically in that warehouse, wherever it is now, in um Granite. No, why am I blanking on where
Stanford.
headquarters is? Stanford, thank you. In Stanford, you know, people would pay to go see that. And then on top of that, why don't you do a WWE shop there too? Like an
Well, and
authentic, like there's so many ideas that you can do with it. As much as
mhm,
I do love the idea of living in the old WWHQ and
yeah,
seeing how they would turn it into modern day apartments, but I see apartments everywhere
yeah,
here, like getting put up. I mean, they just put up and they knocked down a uh famous restaurant that's in Quincy, aka where I live. Um, they're knocking it down and making it into apartments. With WWE headquarters, it's not like you don't have the money to do that. And
yeah.
even if you don't, whatever you're gonna put into it, you're gonna get back thrice fold.
Well, yeah, because that's something that people could visit all year round. That's constant money, you know?
I don't
It's not
understand
like,
how this is. Oh,
"Oh,
sorry.
we have to announce a show here because we want, money for this." It's like, no, people would be going. I wonder if there's some sort of like, uh if there's something preventing them from doing it, like is it something where maybe they don't think Stanford is the right place to do it, like because it's not exactly a tourist destination, like maybe they want it to be somewhere
Agreed.
else, or is it something that maybe the city would be against, like is there something that they could have a say in it, like okay, no, we don't want you to make something like this that's going to have a constant uptick in traffic and whatever. Like, even if that meant that more money was going to the city because people would be getting hotels and like going to the restaurants and the shops and whatever. I don't
Exactly.
know. It just kind of makes you wonder because it felt like I didn't think about this until you mentioned it, but it does feel like a missed opportunity, especially if the warehouse is in Stanford, because then that doesn't require them to like move some delicate or a ton of memorabilia, from coast to coast or
Oh,
wherever. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I would
Where
like to
would
see it sometime, but I don't know if we will.
where do you if you said that maybe Stanford isn't the right location
Mhm.
for it, where would you put the WWE Hall of Fame then? What city feels the most deserving?
I mean, since because it's not far away, I don't think New York is a bad idea. Like New York City.
Mhm.
We also have to remember that WWF had like that restaurant there, remember? And that got
The
taken out.
WWF zone.
Yeah. But that feels like, because of Madison Square Garden and their connection to New York. I mean, they had other, like I said, the restaurant and stuff like was there. It feels like New York would be a great place because New York City is a touristy destination for people all over the world. It's not just like
All over.
people in America want to go and see Times Square and whatever, like people come from out
Mm,
of the country to go there. So that feels like an easy place. And like I said, obviously New York is not far from Connecticut, so having to potentially move, big objects or whatever of memorabilia, it wouldn't be too big of a trip. Um, and then you could also do Vegas.
yeah, that's just like a um,
That's a TKO
blanket
connection
answer.
too, right?
It
Because it's
is,
like,
yeah.
but then we also have to remember, right? That I feel like it needs to be like New York, Vegas, maybe LA. I don't know, but like
New
they
York is
have
fine.
one of these in Riyadh.
Which fucking bullshit, but
It's
I'm
so
not gonna
obviously like
not
traveling
gonna go.
is not a big deal. You know what I mean? They brought this stuff from our country all the way over to Saudi Arabia. So like that shouldn't
And
be an issue. But
I wonder what stuff is over there and what
yeah,
real artifacts
yeah, because
are here.
they've only shown like little snippets of what it is when they were promoting it. But
Yeah, it doesn't seem like more artifact things. It seems more like stuff that they created for
yeah,
the building itself.
yeah.